Today, I shall be giving insights on how to succeed as an entrepreneur. And I know some of you might have been into entrepreneurship before. Some of you may just be thinking of venturing into an enterprise or partnership or whatever. So today I shall share some insights based on my practical experience and my theoretical experience. Okay. So I believe that after this discussion, the discussion should have stimulated your mindset and spirit towards taking action to start and develop an organization of yours, or to start a new one if you have not started any before. It should also promote the entrepreneurship spirit in you to attract more youths into entrepreneurship. Then I also believe that the key factors for entrepreneurship success will have been known, and it will inform you in good business decisions. While I also think and hope that the aims of having a higher skill or knowledge required in today's business enterprise will be known for you to solve complex business issues within the business environment. So these are many more I think we will learn from this discussion. But my first question would be, are you an entrepreneur? If you have answers to this, please share it in the chat box. And I'm sure some of you will ask, why would that question come up? Well, some of us are entrepreneurs and we don't know that we're entrepreneurs because the way we handle entrepreneurship might differ. And that will take me into introducing you into two major concepts under entrepreneurship, which is the entrepreneurship itself and intrapreneurship. Mostly, we often hear of entrepreneurs, and these are those who create their own businesses themselves. They take risk and they take all the reward for their activities. And we have global examples, we have local examples we can give. We have Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, the social networking business. We also have Larry Ellison, Oracle. We have Bill Gates for software. We have Michael Bloomberg. We have Richard Branson, and what have you. All of these people have made serious impact in starting their own businesses, and they made life better for you and I. In Africa, we also have people like Aliko Dangote from the Dangote Group. We have Steve Masiyiwa, we have Michael Adenuga, Tony Elumelu, Patrick Awuwa, and many from the continent. These people, you believe, you agree with me that they've created value for businesses, for households, in terms of what they produce and what they share with us. But these are not the only people that we could term as entrepreneurs. There are some people that are they are hidden within an organization, but they are the main reason why those organizations make the volume of profit and what have you. And this set of people are what we call intrapreneurs. These entrepreneurs are employees of organizations who use their entrepreneurial skills and thinking to seek out initiatives that could benefit the organization. And most organizations are taking this very seriously. Entrepreneurship is being adopted by some companies as a new way of keeping budding entrepreneurial talents in-house. This is achieved by allowing staff to nurture and fulfill their innovative desires. And one of such prominent companies is Sony, the makers of PlayStation. In Sony, there's a particular example I will give, which is prominent, which is Ken Kutaraji. This employee was a junior staff in Sony, and is known for his innovative idea in producing the best-selling console for Sony's PlayStation, which he developed as a junior employee for his daughter's Nintendo game. He tried to convince his bosses on how to improve the Nintendo they were using before, but just like every employee, you get obstacles in trying to pass in your information to your superiors to make it happen. But it was spotted by a senior employee who allowed him to produce the product, and the rest is history. So we have many of such people within organizations that come up with very genuine and fantastic innovations, but they are not the owners of the organization. But their contribution alone can change the whole lot of such organizations. Companies that have entrenched the culture of employees behaving like entrepreneurs could include Facebook, Starbucks, DreamWorks, Intel, Google, and 3M. These are international companies that have practiced entrepreneurship, and they have a standard way of encouraging employees to think out of the box, create products for the benefit of their companies. They've allowed employees to take their time to do research. They've given them resources, space to nurture their pet projects, and the opportunity to pitch such ideas to management. These are likely ways that African countries can also take initiatives from, and individuals like us who are somehow scared to venture into our own business can also do that within the same organization. So from the two, you can discover that both an entrepreneur and the entrepreneur, they are both creative, they are hardworking, they are passionate, they do what they like to do, and they bring out products that can benefit themselves and the organization. So for this discourse, I shall be using entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship interchangeably for our discussion. The next question will be, why do we need entrepreneurship as a career? If you look at what we have today, most organizations, whether in the developing world or the developed economies, have started using temporary workers, which we call outsourced workers or freelancers. This set of people are cheaper to work with because you don't have to pay for the whole year. You don't have to pay them like a full-time staff. And these people are very skilled because for them to stay on their own, they should have what it takes to be a professional. So we have people like graphics, those in graphics and IT, law, and what have you. This set of people are being outsourced on a daily basis. In the country I come from, Nigeria, the banking sector outsourced they outsource 70% of their staff from outsourcing companies. So that tells you that the trend is going higher, and you must have a wonderful skill for you to be part of a bigger organization. Then the issue of artificial intelligence is not helping organizations as well, because it's not helping individuals in organizations as well, because organizations are seeing artificial intelligence as more accurate for what they do. And the best way to come out as a professional is to know the skills that can match with what is left with those organizations to use humans for. If you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about drones, you talk about automated teller machines, point of sales machines, vending machines, and what have you. These things can do what human beings do, and they've occupied the space where humans naturally occupy in organizations. So entrepreneurship needs to be taught, needs to be taken seriously. Then the current pandemic, the COVID-19, has also shown us that more organizations will have to lay off staff. That's just the bitter truth. They have to rationalize, downsize, and what have you. So it is only those that have the core skills that the organizations require, or the knowledge that will take the organization from where it is to where it is focused on, that will still be in such organizations. Then we also have the issue of new working environments. You have what we call the working from home, job sharing, and what have you. These concepts have come to stay. You have telecommuting, part-time jobs, customized working hours. All these things enable you to do whatever you want to do outside the periods in which you are engaged by organizations. So those idle periods, what do you do with them? I think we should start thinking about entrepreneurship with those free period we would have in the future. So what are the determinants if you choose to be an entrepreneur? What would determine your success in entrepreneurship? And I've put those factors into 2 P's, which I call the golden P's. The first is the personal success factors. And these are the innate strengths, abilities nature has embedded in us. They are what we have that other people may not have. They are what are distinct to us. These qualities are best known to us, and we can also know it by ourselves. And for us to understand what we have and what we tend to have advantage of, I always advise that we do a personal SWOT analysis, an analysis of our strengths, weakness, and traits. And in order to do that, to know the skills you have, the talents, and what have you, you ask yourself certain questions. And for you to know your strengths, the first question I always ask myself as an entrepreneur is, what am I good at naturally? What can I do without much effort? What can I do to get people to buy certain creative things that I can do with my hands or my talent? Then what skills do I have to develop? What are the talents that are inborn, that are natural to me? These are questions you should ask yourself too in trying to do a personal SWOT analysis. Then in order to know your weaknesses, the areas in which you need to improve or the areas that can set you back in your career, you need to ask certain questions like, what are your negative work habits and traits? What do people complain about? What are the education that you lack? What are the training you need to improve on? These are certain questions that you need to ask yourself to determine your success factors. Then there are some external factors that are not controllable by you, which we call the opportunities and your threats. You need to know the state of the economy. You need to know how technology, the state of technology in your country or your industry. You need to know the laws and policies within your industry. For instance, now you discover that in Nigeria, for example, the policy on local content has made people go into agriculture, go into some other activities that the law permits or prohibits foreign goods for. So these are things that can help you. Then you also look at the threats. How is your industry contracting? What is changing within your industry? What are the competition within your industry? And what are the dangers? For me as an entrepreneur, when I started my school some 8 years ago, I started as a kindergarten school. And my major reason was because I always knew I liked education, but I didn't have the capacity to start from a bigger stage. So I felt I could start from the lowest stage, which is the kindergarten stage. And I started with the help of my wife. We started it from kindergarten, it improved to primary, to secondary, and now we have a chain of schools. So this is what I'm talking about. You don't need to start big. You may have that dream big enough, but you can start small and grow it. And that may not need that you leave the work in which you do. You can always have such businesses that are not related to the business in which you are being paid for, while you still do your job. Then there are some principles that help promote entrepreneurship, which are global. The first there are basic principles such as setting up a vision, having a vision for your business, knowing the mission in which you use to achieve the vision, setting specific, measurable, accurate, realistic and time goals, being accountable, being aggressive in sales, knowing the right businesses and services that your market wants, being ethical, knowing the regulations, the rule of the game and all that. Once you understand this with your innate factors, there's no point not succeeding in your business. However, there are some benefits you need to also put in mind that will promote the desire to continue in entrepreneurship. And I'll state some of these benefits. The first is flexibility. For many people that have done 9-to-5 jobs, I mean the full-time job, you agree with me that flexibility is one thing we always pray for, and that's why we go and leave. You understand? But being an entrepreneur, you don't need any leave per se, because you set your time, you have the flexibility of knowing when to do what. Your main focus is to achieve the goal, and how you get that goal done legally is left to you. Then another benefit is autonomy. We always, being humans, nature has created us to always want dominance. We always want to make decisions by ourselves. This allows you, the entrepreneurship allows you to make such decisions. You don't need any boss to give you instructions and all that. But as an entrepreneur, you need to constantly grow and develop your skills as well, because you cannot give what you don't have. So that leads me into education. You must constantly go for continuous education. And I think that is what Unicaf is trying to offer us now. We have scholarships, we have very good faculty, we have monthly installments. So I don't see any reason why an entrepreneur would not develop in this part of the continent, when you can even do your lectures online. You don't have to leave your country and whatever. You don't have to go for visa. So constant growth and development is very necessary. You must always aim to know more about your product, about your clients, about your suppliers, about your competitors. This is very important in succeeding as an entrepreneur. Then networking. You can't do anything in isolation. You must have a network of friends, a community of clients and what have you, to assist you in your sojourn. Then as an entrepreneur, you also gain the opportunity to lead. You have people working for you and you give people direction and how to succeed. Then the benefit of self-reliance, you agree with me that most of us want to be financially free. You don't want to be dependent on an organization. And that is where you don't want to have shivers when people say they are downsizing and you are scared, you have heart attack and whatever. So entrepreneurship allows you to have that freedom, that reliance, that self-reliance, that financial freedom. Then for ladies and most men that would always want to balance their life with work, entrepreneurship allows you for that work-life balance you always wanted. Then it also allows you to contribute to the world development. If you look at the people I stated earlier, the Mark Zuckerberg, the Bill Gates and whatever, they've contributed so much to the development of the world. The instruments in which we use in communicating today were efforts of some entrepreneurs, the aeroplane, the media, and what have you. So you could also be part of those that will improve the health of the world, food security, among others. So ideas rule the world and you should be part of it. Then what are the challenges? Why would you not want to be an entrepreneur? I've had various interactions with budding entrepreneurs, aspiring retirees that want to be entrepreneurs. And it seems that the same reasons are the reasons why the old and the young don't want to be entrepreneurs. Even for those that are into entrepreneurship, there are some constant factors that they always lay claim that it reduces their chances of being successful. And I have listed them this way. For me, when I started entrepreneurship, or when I wanted to venture into entrepreneurship, my major challenge at first was self-doubt. I was not too sure if I could succeed in the venture in which I had wanted to place my hard-earned money on. Skeptic, thought too. And I feel it is natural, it's global. It's not limited to any human. Nature has always made man fearful, scared, and all that. But I can assure you that there are ways of getting out of this. Then capital is also a big challenge in terms of human and financial. Sometimes we lay claim on the financial capital constraint, the inadequate capital, money to start your business. But we forget that when you start the business, you need humans to run the business. And these human beings must be highly skilled, talented, and functional in the areas in which you need them to play. So it's another big challenge, and we'll talk about it. Then cash flow management. You will agree with me that most organizations that lay off or that have challenges in meeting their overhead is because of the cash flow management issue. And this can be taught in MBAs, degrees of schools like Unicaf. You learn how to maximize your gains and minimize your costs. You know how to fix your overhead on a monthly basis that it will not be too much to outweigh your revenue. These are things we would also discuss subsequently. Then access to market. When you have made that production, when you have produced a lot of goods, where do you sell to? At what price? What are the promotions you need to undertake? These are challenges people also have. Then support agencies. People want to know which organization will support me in terms of financial capital, in terms of copyright, and all that. Then there's this issue of inadequate infrastructure. You agree with me that in developing countries, especially in Africa and Asia, you have the issue of infrastructure, maybe in terms of internet, energy, water, and what have you. And this makes the cost of doing business higher. So we'll talk about how to surmount such problem in our subsequent discussion as well. Then we have the issue of intellectual property theft for those of us that are going into services, creating new ideas and what have you. Then we have that issue of lack of trust. This is not only related to a man or woman or a gender or a continent. I think it's natural where there is no standardized way of protecting intellectual property, you have the issue of intellectual property theft. And this is a very big issue. If people like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg did not have intellectual property policies in their countries, this might have eroded the successes they've recorded in their various ventures. And I think it's a problem for developing countries that don't have such, though we have commissions set up for these things, but we will talk about it further. Then we also have the issue of sustainability. How sustainable is the business you are creating today? In my sojourn in life, I've seen various entrepreneurs die and their businesses die with them. A point in case is Chief M.K. Abiola of blessed memory. He said during his life, he had so much, he had the conglomerate of aviation, media, and what have you. But after his death, you can hardly hear of Concord Airline and Concord newspaper and what have you. These are sustainability issues that are peculiar to entrepreneurs within our space. And we'll talk about how to surmount such a challenge. Then what are the solutions to entrepreneurship challenges? First and foremost, you must believe in your innate potentials. And how do you even know your innate potential if you don't do a SWOT analysis? You must first know what you can do. You must know your limitations. You must know, and human beings are elastic in nature. You must know how you can push yourself. To what level can you push yourself? Who are the people promoting the ideas in you? Do you have mentors? You know, that's very essential. And I think in this part of the world, we take mentorship for granted, maybe because we don't feel that it's necessary. But mentorship is necessary and it can help a lot in your entrepreneurship sojourn. So you need to have mentors, people that will guide you. They've been there, they've seen the ups and downs, and they can always tell you what they did when they had such issues. So you need to promote that within your culture and grab it for better entrepreneurship. Then the issue of human capital development, you need to keep improving yourself, training, skill acquisition, seminars, go to school. And just like I've always said, I don't know how Unicaf came about it, but this is just too much for any entrepreneur to grab. You can go online, you can get 75% scholarship, you can do your master's, your BSc, your doctorate degree, while staying in your country, in your bedroom and all that, what have you. So this is the way to go. You need to improve yourself. You need to promote your skills. You need to improve your skills and what have you. Then you also need to join relevant bodies and associations, especially in the area you have chosen for business. There are so many professional associations you can join. There are so much like the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. There are so many others like the state bodies and what have you. These associations and bodies can allow you enjoy free information that you should have bought or paid for. So when you join associations, there are also some leverages you could get from such associations like discounts, free information, economies of scale and what have you. So you need to join bodies, join associations, learn more, know about the industry better and what have you. Then for infrastructural gaps, you need to improvise. I don't think there's any country that has 100% of what it wants, but you could always make do or make shifts for what you don't have. For instance, in terms of energy, most countries in Africa have made use of generators. Some are going for solar now. You know, you just need to work around your challenges and get to where you are going to. So you could always improvise for infrastructural gaps or logistic challenges, and you'll be better off for it. Then you need to register your patent. If you know you are dealing with a new innovation, there are appropriate agencies for that in various countries, and they are supportive. So you just need to do that. Get a lawyer if you don't know the procedure, and that should be okay for you. Then always make sure that you register in all the regulatory bodies that affect your business. This helps you to safeguard the issue of intellectual property theft, on rivalry competition among others. Then you need to build trust through engagement. When you are working with people, you always let them. Every human being is talented. Everybody has a skill, but the skill will only manifest when you give them opportunities to do what they can do. But when you always say, I'm the best, I'm the owner of the business, you don't want anybody to do anything until you are there, you can be sure that that business will not succeed you. So you need to put them through trials, let them do what they can do, give them a direction, organize them, give them, do it first, let them see it, be a leader, not a boss, you know. And when they start doing it, they could also do better. And with this, when you delegate, you see that there's a succession plan. When you are not around, somebody else can do it without waiting for you. And with that, even when you leave the business, you can see that the business continues. In developing countries, we always have the challenge of having companies that have spent 100 years, 200 years at entrepreneurship. But in developed countries, you see them celebrating 100 years, 150 years as a family business. So we need to start talking about succession planning as entrepreneurs. We need to start thinking about it and acting it. Then why is education essential in the whole discussion? Education is the bedrock for any development. You agree with me that even countries that have develop because of the level of education they allow their citizens to get. And as an entrepreneur, you cannot just have a skill, you cannot just have that talent. You must always sharpen the talent. You must always read about it, know how it is best done, and that will give you better leverage. So as an entrepreneur, you need to have adept knowledge of management. Has different shades. We have financial management, marketing management. We have so many things you need to know under management. You need to know how to manage your finance, how to manage your market, how to manage your time, how to manage your staff, emotional intelligence, among others. So it's a big space, but you can know it. And this can be done through attending programs, seminars, summits, and what have you, reading books online and offline as well. Then entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs need to also know about how to draw their long-term plans, short-term plans, how to manage the expenditure, how to project for future expenditure, how to project for, all this cannot be done without knowledge. You need to hire quality staff. You need to know what it takes to do that. What is the process of recruitment, selection, and what have you. So you need to balance it. You need to orientate your staff. So what do you tell them? How do you engage them? When there are crises, what are the laws behind hiring? What are the regulatory payments you need to make in terms of taxation, in terms of pension? All this needs to be learned, and that is why education is very necessary. Then there is the interdisciplinary approach to business. You cannot just say, I'm into sales. Sales has laws. You need to know about the laws. You need to know about the concepts of pricing. You need to, so many things. You need to know about how to interact with human beings in terms of emotional intelligence, I've just said, and many others. Then you need to also know the culture of where you do your business or where you want to extend your businesses to. For instance, in some countries, there are some things that are allowed, while in some countries, they may not be allowed. You need to know all this. What are the social, cultural things that they allow or they disallow in such countries or communities? This can only be known when education is in place. So how can you get all this? I think the best place to get all in one is Unicaf. And I'm not just saying this because of anything, but because of the track record Unicaf has set in place in terms of cultural literacy, the skills that managers can get through their courses. And I'm very opportune, and I've seen many people that have benefited from this because I lecture in Unicaf, and I see a variance of people from different countries of individuals. And just like I've told you, you need networking. These are people that will open markets for your business. And now that the business space is a global space, you can do your business anywhere and get it sold everywhere. So I will just list one or two things that I know about Unicaf that you can gain, which is it's present in 12 different countries, which is a big plus for anybody that wants internationally recognized certificate. Then you can get your degree, your master's, your doctorate degrees from this institution. You can get 70% scholarship offer, scholarship opportunity from them. Then there's a diverse body of internationally qualified faculty members, which will give you a very in-depth study on what you need to know about business. Then their MBA is very, very good because I take the MBA class and the courses are very, very rich in giving you insights into how to run your business. Then the courses are accredited and recognized locally and internationally, and they have partnerships with universities in the UK, US, and other countries. So in short, you enjoy flexibility, affordability, and international partnership. You don't need visas to enjoy those things I've spoken about. You can get monthly installments for payments after the scholarship. You can also do your courses online, and if you choose to use a face-to-face classroom, it's also available. So I would stop there and give you my final thoughts. First and foremost, from what I've discussed, I want you to understand that you may not leave your job to start a business in which you can make impact. You can start as an entrepreneur within the organization and promote the organization to bigger grounds. You can also be in that organization and set up a business not related to that business outside of a business to make impact. This can be done without leaving your job and starting a business, because in truth, entrepreneurship is not a child's play. It requires a lot. And, just like everything created, it has a growing curve. It starts from small, then it grows. Then there are some challenges. It's not a linear curve as well. So you need to understand that, and you need finance. And that finance may come from your salary. Just like I've told you, I was in my place job as a banker, and I started a small school. I was using my salary to finance that venture. And when I saw that it was big, I called some partners, and now it's history. So you may not leave your job as a paid staff to do that. I also gave you insights on some countries abroad where internal staff help develop products for that company, and they make it a better place. So you can be in your company and still use your entrepreneurial skills to make a difference. Then the second point I want you to go away with is that there are opportunities in the world, and every human being is endowed with one talent or the other. So you must know the talent in which you have and try to use it very well. You can start as a freelance. During weekends, you do things that you know how to do best. Then while during the peak days, you do your normal work that you are being paid for. You can start with that, but it will be a crime to yourself not to do anything outside your normal. Everybody is a born entrepreneur. We must try to explore that. So start your own business today. Think of a product for your company. Think of a business. Get partners if you cannot do it alone. Like Mark Zuckerberg, he tried to call his colleagues in the hostel, and they started Facebook. So you may not start alone. You may start with friends that are like minds to set up a business. Then successful entrepreneurs are those who never give up. You must have a vision, and that vision must keep you going. The joy that you expect, and you back out. Somebody else may just take it up from there and get it done. So the mind, just like nature has created us, we always think about things, but in putting them into reality is the issue. So try to drive your vision into reality, and you see that it's less easier than you have thought. Like Nelson Mandela used to say that most things are always thought to be difficult until you do it. So keep the vision, do it, and get help. Then lastly, I will say that as an entrepreneur, you need to learn. Nothing was done without knowledge. You need to learn, you need to unlearn what you think you know. Just take it off your head, get new things there, then relearn what you think you know, extend the knowledge, because the world is a dynamic space and things keep changing day by day. So upgrade your knowledge, get into school, even if there's no age restriction to knowledge. So you could go back to school, start a new degree, start a master's. And I think Unicaf doesn't have an age limit for education as well. So education and networking will take you there to make you survive as an entrepreneur, and you'll be the best of yourself. Thank you for listening. I hope this